Hello. Hello everybody. This is Cheryl, all things Cheryl. I've basically been on vacation, but I'm back. I'm here to basically do a recap and a review of the anticipated Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar is back, and it started out with Nova outside putting together a packet of, it looks like it was like um, some tie-dye or something she was putting together, getting ready for, I guess, an event that she was basically going to. Oh, by the way, guys, the title of episode 1 in season 2 is called After the Winter. And we open up the scene where we see Nova is outside, and apparently she looks like she might have had tie-dyed something. But as she was basically, putting the packets together, because she was putting two packets together, as she was putting two packets together, a white guy comes out of her house, and he basically tells Noah that he had a good time and everything, and that perhaps maybe they could get together again. And basically, that's how the season opened up. Now, remember, in the last episode, Nova and Calvin, her boyfriend, who was a part of the police department, he had basically left his wife, and he kind of sort of wanted to, present himself in a different light when it came to Nova. And in the last episode, Noah and Kevin ran into some collision. They got into a fight and everything. So um, we go on into the next thing we see Charlie, and Charlie, of course, is at the table with Remy. And not only she's at the table with Remy, but she's also at the table with a group of investors that is thinking about and that want to be a part of this sugarcane industry that her and her family is getting ready to get into it. And so Charlie is basically going through her spiel and everything and telling them exactly, how much money that they will be able to make, and that the fact that this will be the first black owned sugar mill. And so all of the investors and everything, and they said, well, we're in, we're in. You don't have to go any further, you know, as long as, Davis is a part of this, we'll basically, we want to be a part of it. You got me. And so after Charlie made his bill, and then Charlie told the investors that Davis really wasn't a part of it, it was just her. And so they were getting ready to jump ship until Charlie said, well, okay, well, let me see if I could get Davis to, come in, and we're basically, is ready to go. Now, of course, we know back in season 1, Remy and Charlie was beginning to develop a romance between the two of them. And now Remy is kind of sort of helping Charlie to, get this mill up off the ground. And Remy told Charlie, he said, well, you just got railroaded. And basically, they told Charlie, well, if Davis is not on board, we're basically not on board. And so Charlie was telling Remy, well, I guess they figured that I'm always going to be, a part of, the Davis label. And Remy he really wasn't really having it. He basically told Charlie, he said, look, until you start having drinks and going out with another man on your shoulder, and letting the community or the people see that you're no longer a part of the Davis. It's always going to be like that. And so Remy actually went on and to tell Charlie, said, look, we can, as long as Davis is in your life, as far as him being your husband, we cannot go on, being an item until, until the paperwork is final. We can only be business partners. No more and no less. And so basically, kind of Charlie was kind of like looking at that. And so, she had nothing else that basically, she, could say, because basically, she's right. And so, then we go on to see where we see, because I wrote everything down so I could kind of remember, because it was a lot. And so we go on, and so Charlie is basically doing her thing, and Nova is kind of sort of doing her thing too. Then we go to a scene where we see, the yellow restaurant that Aunt Vibe has become a manager. And so basically what's happening is that Aunt Vi has done a lot of things, along with the restaurant. Not only that, she had also hired some women in the halfway house to basically help her out with the restaurant. And one of the customers and everything, she asked him, well, how's the food? And he said, well, it's nothing like, nothing like your food, um, but Aunt Val was telling the customer, well, look, I believe in giving women, I believe in second chances. Ralph Angel has showed me that there is such a thing as second second chance. Then we go on into, because this is kind of sort of, the first episode is basically like, reintroducing everybody to basically the characters. So then we go on and we see Ralph Angel, and we see Blue, and along with Dollar. They're on the tractor, laying the land out and everything. And Blue is basically with Dollar and Ralph Angel. So Ralph Angel tells Blue to basically get off of the tractor, and he wanted him to basically fill his hands with the soil and everything. And so basically, what happens in this scene, we see that Ralph Angel has kind of sort of mapped out a part of the land where he is going to be doing some soybeans. He's basically want to start making the land pay for himself. And so he made one part of that land. He calls it the Blue Corner. And basically, he made one part of that land. He named it after his first son. And so basically, we go on and we see that Dollar has basically asked Ralph Angel, have you told your sister, have you told Nova and Charlie about the living will that your father left you? And Ralph Angel said, basically, no, he didn't tell them. It's because he knows that, especially Charlie, if they found out that basically the real true owner of the land is Ralph Angel. So basically, they didn't go into it any further. And so we go on to a scene we see where Micah has turned 16, And in the earlier scene, we see that Micah and I guess his girlfriend's name is Kiki. So him and Kiki is kicking it real hard, and you see Kiki's driving Michael's brand new sports car that his dad basically had bought him for his 16th birthday. And so we see Kiki and Micah with his mother, and Kiki has taken Micah to the restaurant, and he really, really enjoyed the restaurant, and he was like appreciated, and he, wasn't too. But Kiki, she was basically really excited about the car and everything that basically Michael's dad had gave her, and Michael was saying, well, I don't really too much to particularly, care about the car and everything. That's just a way that my dad is basically trying to buy me and all of the things that he's basically done to me and my mother. So it's just kind of sort of a hush hush kind of thing. And so we go on to a point where we have Aunt Vi. She's really, really pining over Hollywood. I mean, she's getting to a point where is that she is trolling his Facebook. She's like looking on his Facebook and looking at all the pictures and everything. And so she gets a call. She gets a call from Nova. And so Nova asks Aunt Vibe if they wanted to go out and to celebrate Micah's 16th birthday. And so Aunt Vibe tells Nova saying that, oh, this is just a way for you to go man hunting. And so she, Nova asked Aunt Vi, are you going, are you in? And they said yes. And so basically what we see is that we go back to Nova again. Now, in the early part of the beginning of the episode, we see that Nova was basically preparing two gifts. And come to find out that basically she was getting ready to go to a baby shower. And it seems that one of her friends is getting ready to have twins. And so the gifts and everything that she was preparing was for one of her friends. So basically, they were having a get together, and she saw a friend whom she hadn't seen in, a couple of times. And so all of them got together, and they started talking about old times, and they started talking about the fact that all of them are very successful, and all of them really are not married, but they talked about how hard it is basically in being single and, being successful but not really having the husband, the house, and the picket fence. And so Noah basically was telling them that basically you guys are, you're not really thinking outside of the box. You're only thinking inside of the box. You're not thinking outside of the box. And she says to them, look, why don't you all stop trying to just try to find black men? Won't you kind of look at the white men, kind of look at the Latinos men? She said, heck, even look at, some white men and some white girls and some black girls. She said, don't be so within the box and everything. And a couple of them said, well, look, we're not so friendly. We're not so friendly like you are, Nova. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Well, me, personally, the girls were saying, personally, I'm into guys. And you go ahead and do your thing. We accept the way you are, but hey, it is what it is. In the meantime, we see that Dala is working her AA and drug analysis. She's going to the meetings. She's getting, her mentors and stuff like, she needs to be. Because it seems that Dala is coming up with her 2-year anniversary. And that it's been almost 2 years that she has not um, gone, she has not backslide. And so she was basically at her meeting, and they asked if anybody wanted to talk. And so Dollar said, well, yeah, I want to, I want to talk. I want to, talk about some things. So she basically went on and talked about, her first experience and stuff like that. And the reason why, she's kind of want to work her program and everything is because basically she's getting very, very nervous, and she's enjoying the fact that her and Ralph Angel is, developing this real serious relationship, and that they are falling back in love with each other again. And she does not want to do anything that's going to basically affect the relationship. So she's basically trying to work, the relationship. And so basically go on with the scene where is we go on with the scene where we see that Micah. Now Micah has just received this brand new car that his father has bought him. Micah had the music turning up loud. He was listening to his music. He was enjoying his music and everything. And then all of a sudden, we get this, yeah. There's a police behind him. And so basically, Michael is looking through the rear view window and seeing that the police is flashing, the siren. And so Michael stops. He stops his car. And so basically what happened is that the policeman tells Michael to cut the car off. Cut the car off. So Michael cuts the car off. And he comes to the car. And so how the camera was focusing, the camera was focusing. It's like, this is the car, and you have two rear view like on the side. And so the camera was focusing where you could see the policeman, and I'm trying to describe it to you guys so y'all can see what I'm seeing. You could see the policeman coming towards him. As the policeman was coming towards him, you also saw the policeman put his hand down on his gun. So he put his hand down on the gun. He goes to Michael's car and he asks Michael, he says, roll the window down. And Michael says, I can't roll the window down because I have to start the car in order to roll the window down. He says, roll the window down. So Michael rolls the window down, right? And so the police cop asked him, he says that, do you live around here? So Michael said, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. He says, is this your car? He says, is your car? And Michael said, yes, this is my car. My dad gave me this car for my birthday and everything. And the policeman asked him, in the meantime, while he's asking him these questions, guys, he's asking him, okay, well, show me your driver's license. So Michael went to look for his driver's license, and apparently he did not have his driver's license on him, guys. So at that time, this is when he said, okay, well, let me see your registration. Now, Michael goes to get his registration like this, and the police pulls out the gun, right? The police pulls out the gun and tell Michael to get out of the car and hold your hands up. So Michael is holding his hands up at the same time, and I was like, oh shit, I hope this guy is not going to shoot this guy with all this bullshit that's been happening with, black on black crime and cops killing young black guys. So he holds his hands up. Okay, in the meantime, we see that excuse me. In the meantime, we see that the family is getting ready to have this annual dinner, and it's called the Juneteenth. They're basically getting ready to have this annual dinner like every year, and there's a lot of people in the South. excuse me, that celebrates called Juneteenth. And Juneteenth is actually the real celebration as to when the slaves were actually freed. The slaves were not. Our ancestors did not get their emancipation in June. They got their emancipation in June, not on the 4th of July. You guys need to look that up, and you will, basically you will know the true whatever that freedom thing is. So in the meantime, Micah is basically going through this with the cop. Now I forgot some stuff because I'm trying to get it all in because we've got to go to tomorrow night, which is a part 2. In the meantime, before we get to the dinners, guys, Nova, Charlie, and Aunt Vi basically went to the club. Basically, the reason why they went to the club is that Aunt Vi is really, really, really having some issue due to the fact that how her and Hollywood basically broke their relationship up. Hollywood jumped to the conclusion, she jumped to the conclusion, and of course you know that Hollywood is doing his thing on the ship somewhere, and he signed up for 6 months. And so basically we see that Aunt Vi is really, really having it. She gets a little tipsy and everything. She gets a little tipsy, and they start dancing. So Nova said, "Come on, let's go dancing." So they basically go dancing and everything. While they're dancing, of course, Nova going to go ahead and do her thing because she's a free spirit person anyway. She's going to go ahead and do her thing. In the meantime, Charlie's on the floor. Everybody's on the floor. But Charlie just happened to see Davis. And Davis is at the club with another woman. And so Charlie gets into her feeling. So she basically confronts Davis that you have your nerves basically showing up here, and your son, and you're not even with your son on his 16th birthday. And so David says, "Look, first of all, my son, shoved me off. I didn't shove my son, shoved me out. So therefore, I could do whatever I want to. And if you really," and she said, "Well, the nerve of all the work that we did to try to keep your name out of the paperwork, and this is what you do. You up here with this young girl." The girl looked like she was basically younger than Davis was. And then it just so happened that Aunt Vi, she saw Davis with this other young girl. And so Aunt Vi went into him, start chewing on him and everything, and saying, "Well, you got your kind of nerves and everything." All that Charlie did to try to keep you, and they almost got kicked out of the club, okay? So in the meantime, okay, we got that in the mind. In the meantime, we got Micah. Micah has been pulled out of his car and taken to the police department. And none of the family know anything about that Micah is getting ready to go to the jail, right? And so in the meantime, they are basically preparing to get ready to have their annual dinner that they do every year. And Dollar comes in from being at her AA, Drug Anonymous group. And so Ralph Angel asked Dollar, says, "Look, I need to talk to you and everything." And so he has this conversation with Dollar. And so basically Dollar tells Ralph Angel, "Look, I still have to kind of sort of work my program. Is that even though I've been 2 years clean and everything, I just want to kind of sort of make sure that, I dot my I's and put my T's together." And so Ralph Angel basically kind of understood that. So in the meantime, everybody is sitting down and getting ready to sit down at the table. And so they said, well, do we need to walk? Do we need to wait for the speed demon? And they were talking about Micah and his new car and everything. In the meantime, they at the table praying and everything, and Charlie gets a phone call. The phone call is from Davis. Davis wants to know how come nobody is answering the call. Charlie tells him, Charlie tells him, look, we're getting ready to sit down for a dinner, so we don't know anything. So Davis said, look, I've been trying to reach Micah and nobody's answering the call and everything. And so Charlie says, well, okay, well, let me check with this girlfriend, Kiki. So she calls and finds out that he wasn't really there. That, I don't know what happened. He wasn't really there. And so in the meantime, Aunt Vibe took this opportunity to basically call Hollywood that was out on the rig. And so Hollywood picked up the phone, and then Hollywood immediately says, well, what's wrong? What's going on? And so Aunt Vibe says, look, we can't seem to find Micah, and it's been quite some time. We don't know exactly what's going on. We've been looking for him. We don't know what's really going on. Okay, so in the meantime, we go and we see Micah has been put in jail. We see Michael walking down the aisle, walking towards towards a jail cell with handcuffs behind his back. The expression on this boy's face, you guys should have seen the expression on this boy's face. Of course, you know that Micah is a privileged black child. And he's living in Hollywood. He has been living in Hollywood just about all of his life, so he knows nothing as to what is about to take place in his life. So he has nothing. This is the first time he has ever experienced anybody pulling him over for anything. He's used to being around white people. He's used to, these white kids driving these luxury cars, and nobody's, pulling him over from where he's from. But he's beginning to get an eye open. He's beginning to see exactly what his aunt Nova and everything is talking about. Okay, they put Michael in this jail cell, with all of these grown ass men. Now Michael has just turned 16, and they throw him in this jail cell, guys. Michael's face looked he was like so scared he didn't know what to do. And so before they threw him in the jail cell, Michael asked them, he's sitting down at the desk, and Michael asks the police, the black police, he says, can I make a phone call? And the police guy, the black cop said, sure, you can make a phone call. There are 400 black men ahead of you, but you can make these phone calls. And I'm saying to myself, 400 black men waiting to make phone calls? So you guys, this is what you all doing. Y'all locking up, black men just for the hell of it. And so you could see Michael is like sitting there. He was like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know why I'm in this. I'm just like, I'm like 16. Why the hell I was just minding my business. And this white ass, old ass cop stops him for no reason at all. Simply because he's driving a nice car, a luxury car. So, Charlie and Nova finally finds Michael's car. Now, Michael's car is like in the middle of nowhere. I mean, his car is like just standing there. And I guess somehow the reason how they found his car, I guess they put a tracker, or his car had like one of those trackers where you could kind of track people down and see where they are. So they find the car. Then they find out where Michael is. So you skip to the scene and you see the jail. Charlie comes bursting through. It's like, where's my son? Where's my son? My name is Charlie Russ, and you guys have my son. Can you get this? Can you do that? And so she's like really, really demanding and really pushing. Where's my son? So the guy said, well, can you check to see where my son is? Can you check to see the database if he's in? So the guy said, sure, we can do this. He went into the database, guys. They did not process Michael. So you can imagine how many times in real life how they really actually do this thing. throw these guys in jail sometimes without even processing them. And so when people come looking for their kids, they're nowhere in the system because they have not processed them properly the way they're supposed to be processed. So they basically told. So by that time, Davis come into the scene. Prior before then, Nova tried to talk to him very calmly and everything. Where is that Charlie? She's bursting in and trying to demand. And so Nova tells them, well, look, I'm a journalist and I've been doing this article and I could do this article. Can you recheck, can you recheck it again? And they went in and they couldn't find it. In the meantime, Davis has come back in, right? Davis come back in. And they realized, the police department realizing that this is Davis. And they get, how they get an all-star eyes track. Oh, wow, this is a basketball store. And so Davis says, look, can you guys basically really check again to see whether or not if my son is in jail or if my son is in for... And they say, okay, sir, sure, no problem. No problem. We could basically do that. So they checked again, and they said, no, he's not there. And so this black car guy said, well, look, maybe we could just, go back in the back and, see what's going on in the back. And so David said, well, basically, can you do that? In the meantime, he had the black cops telling the white cop, look, ask for a selfie. Get a selfie. Guys, Davis, did the selfie, did the click with this white guy. And he did click, the same guy that told Charlie that he wasn't in the cell. So Michael comes out, right? Michael comes out. He's like shocked. He's just been really, really shocked because nothing like this has ever happened to him. This is the first time. And he's like, oh my God. And so Michael comes out and Nova comes with him. And they go outside. In the meantime, Nova asks Michael, are you okay? Is everything okay? And he was like, oh yeah, all right. But then she realized that Michael basically had peed on his pants. He was so frightened and everything that he literally peed on himself. And so Nova kind of told him and say, like, look, it's okay. Things like this happen. It's natural. It's normal. So Nova basically takes off her sweater and she puts the sweater in front of Michael so nobody could see that he had basically, urinated on himself. In the meantime, Charlie is basically going in on Davis due to the fact of what he did. She called him shy jumping, or in other words, he was like a cool trying to get what he doing. Like back in the slave days, back in the slavery, if you know the history and everything, the people, the ancestors and stuff, they would basically do the necessary stuff that they needed to get done in order to get the things that they need. And basically, I understood why Davis did what he did. If Davis had not came in and did what he did, his son would have still been in prison longer. Now, Davis and Charlie went into it and everything, and Charlie said, I didn't like the way you did what you did, doing the selfie and everything. And Davis basically told Charlie, look, yeah, I did the selfie, but I did what I had to do to get my son out of prison and out of jail, and I understood that. So in the meantime, what's happening is that we are getting ready to, everybody's come out of the jail and everything. And Ralph Angel and Dollar is getting ready to go pick up Blue. And so basically Dollar tells Ralph Angel, she says, look, we've been moving a little bit too fast, and I think there are some things that we have been missing in the relationship that we have not covered. She says, look, I can no longer play house with you. She said, the reason why I can't play house with you is because we're getting a little bit too comfortable, and in some words she was saying, and I might slip again, and I don't want to slip again. So I kind of sort of need my space and everything. So Ralph Angel said, okay, well, you're not splitting up with me or anything, are you? And Dollar tells him, no, we're not splitting up. I just kind of sort of need to be able to stand on my own feet and do the necessary things I have to do for myself. And so they said, okay, as long as you're not, basically, Ralphie said, as long as you're not splitting up with me, I'm fine with that. Then we go into Sunday. We see the scene where, they're ringing the bells of the church and everybody is in, everybody's in tune. Then we see Ralph Angel and Blue. They're by themselves because Dollar is no longer with them anymore. And so Blue asks his father when will he see his mother again. And Ralph Angel says, we don't know, very soon. She has to basically do what she needs to do for herself. In the meantime, we see a scene where Nova, I don't know what's going on with Nova and these white men. Nova is in bed again with these white men. And basically, I don't think she's gotten over Calvin. Calvin or whatever her previous boyfriend. Because she's kind of like going through these white guys like a dime a dozen guys. A dime a dozen. But this particular one, he was real cute and everything. But she basically told him, look, you gotta go. So we know that Nova is having some issues with the fact that her and Calvin is not together anymore, and she's abusing these white guys only for sex and everything. So there is some internal issues that's going on with with Nova. In the meantime, we see Charlie. Now remember earlier within the scene I had told you that Charlie had to get Davis's approval in order for her to get the money that they need to move on. Alright guys, you know what I'm about to tell you. It's getting ready to get messy. Charlie then forged Davis's signature. And it goes off. So basically, Davis does not know that he's getting ready to be part owner of a sugar cane company, whereas Charlie has basically forged his signature and did not ask for it. This particular Queen Sugar is very good. The writing is superb. This is a little bit longer than usual, but I just want to make sure this is my first time doing the preview for Queen Sugar, and it's very good. So, and I needed to get this out so basically I can prepare myself to do part 2, and then after part 2 comes on, and then it will go back to its regular time. And I think it's going to be Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, I'm asking you to subscribe. Click if you like, subscribe, and click. Until tomorrow, we'll see part 2, and we'll see what's going to go down. But it was very, very good. And the artistic and the cinematography, they've got it right on time. Ava DuVernay, Oprah, and a whole complete cast is women directors, women cinema. Everything is just completely done by women. There are men, and there are men also a part of this, but the main characters, the main producers, and everything are basically Ava DuVernay and Oprah. It's very good. I like it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until the next time, this is All Things Cheryl. See you tomorrow.